Like, you kind of have to be a little delulu. You know what I mean? You have to be a little delusional to believe that, like, yeah, my writing's the shit. Like, it's totally gonna get published. We have officially made it to the conference. I drove. Not too bad, actually. My eyelash is driving me nuts. So we're gonna try and fix this bad boy before I go in. And I have I'm like 35 minutes early. Oh, this is upside down. I'm 35 minutes early. So I made good time, no traffic. I've been practicing my pitch in the car, although I'm not feeling too great about it because I feel very naive going into an agent meeting. I don't like doing things out of order. You know, I feel like I have it together. So when I don't have it together, I don't feel great. It's my first time actually meeting with an agent too. I think that's why I'm nervous. Okay, let's put this bad boy on and hope I don't look crazy and it doesn't stab my eye out all day. Okay, all right, we're doing all right. Good thing I brought the Glamnetic. Also not sponsored, but I actually really like Glamnetic because eyelash glue over and over was not it, sweetie. It was ripping out my eyelashes. Now we have something reasonable. Anyways, I'm here. Maybe I should leave that light on. I'm here. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm like maybe 30,000 words into this book, and chapter 10 out of projected 26. I have the entire thing outlined. So I know the direction. I know the beginning, middle, and end. I'm very so clear about the direction I want to go with this book, at least for the first draft, and I'm very open to revising it. I try not to be one of those writers that's like, no, what I've written is the word of God, and if I change that, then you guys don't know my vision. You know, I try to be humble as a writer, and I try to really be open to critique because I know that I am new. But I also have faith in my writing. Like I've seen my storytelling move people. I've seen my writing bring people to tears. I believe in the impact that I can have. And it's so funny being a writer trying to find the balance between, like, you kind of have to be a little delulu. You know what I mean? You have to be a little delusional to believe that, like, yeah, my writing's the shit. Like, it's totally gonna get published. But then you also have humility. You have to have, like, humility and be humble and be like, you know, I can totally learn. It's a weird balance because you have to have, like, this delusional level of confidence to even pursue wanting to be published, while at the same time being open to, like, having your world crushed in case that it doesn't work out. So this is like step one officially of my journey for this book, because before it was just like hiding in a cave and writing, but this is like, this is serious, you know. Maybe I'm making it like a bigger deal than it is. You know, it's a conference that I like signed up for, paid for, and then signed up and paid for like 2 meetings with agents. Maybe it'll go nowhere. Maybe they'll just give me advice, and that's okay too. But I did bring 2 letters for the agents that I'm going to be talking to. And they're doing like a Writer's Got Talent thing where you submit the first page of your novel. That would be first page of my prologue, actually, which I think was better and more intriguing than my chapter 1 anyways. So I guess that works out as opposed to like page 1, chapter 1. So I'm bringing that, and this thing goes from 9:30 to about like 5. So if I don't record anything, I got overwhelmed and busy and didn't get to record anything inside, or they didn't let me. I don't know if they allow that, but wish me luck. I'm very excited, very nervous, and we'll see how this goes. See you guys inside. Bye. So here's the agenda. Every single time I go to a conference, I like to write out the schedule of what talks I'll be going to. I also bring my business cards. Those are the ones I printed from GDC. And I also have my query letters, my outline, and things to review in regards to my story. So I wasn't able to record all of the lectures. I was only able to record a couple snippets, but this is Chuck's lecture about some keys to writing success. If you're a part of my Discord, I will be taking notes, translating them from written notes into typed notes, and providing them in the resources section. If this is the first you guys have heard of my Discord, I run a writing Discord of over 150 members. You do have to take an assessment to be a part of it, just to make sure that you are a positive person and at least some level of competent writing. It's not hard, but it's just to make sure that you would give constructive criticism and that you're a positive, non-toxic person for the community. I am currently at my agent meeting, but she's not here. This morning I parked at the wrong place entirely, and then now in my agent meeting and she's not here. We are 2 for 2 on the bad luck, baby. I'm so nervous, and then like they said they haven't heard from her, so maybe she's not gonna make it. Maybe we'll have to reschedule. Jeez. I was really looking forward to meeting her though, because I feel like we would really connect, so fingers crossed. So just finished a lecture. I hate these little sticker things because my hair always gets caught in them. Got about 5-7 minutes until the next one, and my agent didn't show. She apparently hasn't shown up for anyone, so something may have happened. Hopefully she's okay, but they said they'll give like a credit or like reschedule. I don't know how that's gonna work, but he said Chuck said that he will email us about it, and then we'll see. But I was like bummed. I know it's like out of our control, but it kind of felt like, man, she hated me so much that she just like didn't want to show up. I know that's not the case, but that's just kind of how it feels. Anyways, lecture was great. If you're part of my writing Discord, I will share the notes. But yeah, we'll see what the next one is. It's how to write a good query letter.
That is underlined in this paragraph are the comp titles. And in this case, I used Recipe for Persuasion and All Stirred Up because both happen to be retellings of Jane Austen's Persuasion. So very easy to look up. But when it comes to comp titles, I always suggest don't stress your...
Sorry, I cut off the video like that. That lecture, though, was super helpful because they gave us a sample query letter breaking down the different parts of a query letter and what these agents are looking for, like what comparables are out of date. I found this to be extremely helpful, and I learned a lot from this lecture in particular. Then I was late to this speed writing lecture, and I had no idea what was going on. Hi, it's me from a couple weeks later. I know. It's been a while. I didn't get a chance to edit the video until now. The writing conference overall went really great. I made some new writing friends, which is really important in your writing journey. I added them to my Discord. I spoke with one agent only because the first one was like, she did have a medical emergency, so that's why she canceled. I hope that she's okay. But the second agent meeting I had, I didn't get a chance to record it. It went really well. I did preface, I was like, listen, I know it's really naive of me to go into this meeting without a completed manuscript. So for future reference, anyone who's pitching or querying to agents, don't do that. I knew that already. I really just wanted to go in to see what it was going to be like, to see what agents are looking for, and prepare myself for when I actually am ready to query. So I went in this for like research purposes. Don't do that. But what I gleaned from it was really helpful. So I am grateful that I did it. I feel like things kind of fall in place and things happen to me for a reason. So it wasn't meant to be, but that's fine. I had really good feedback from the agent. And when I spoke with her, I gave her the pitch and she was like, okay, so where are you at the manuscript? Because you said it's incomplete. And I was like, that is correct. It's incomplete. I told her I was like 30,000 words in. I'm projecting this to be a 80 to 90,000 word novel. I already have the entire outline and everything. And I've completed a novel before, so I understand my own pacing. And she said, and this is like both like kind of disheartening, but also really encouraging. She said, I really wish you had a completed manuscript because I was ready to send this to 3 editors today. And I was like, oh my God, first of all, highest compliment I could have possibly received about my pitch. Secondly, dang it. Like, why did I do this to myself? It's fine. but the door's not closed. She gave me her info and she said, when you're done, please contact me. And she gave me really good feedback about my story, my pitch, everything. She said, I asked her, like, do you think that this is relevant for the current market? Do you think that the demographic I'm trying to hit, like, this would resonate with them? And she was like, this kind of story and the topics that you're touching on are timeless. Like, there are trends out there, but this is timeless. And that was like the nicest thing I've ever heard about my story. So I'm so taking that to heart. And so that was amazing. And then we did the panel. I'll share a clip of it, but we did a panel where it's like Writers Got Talent. You submit your first page. I submitted the first page of my book, which is the prologue, not chapter 1. And they read it. And if they're all agents and editors, so it's a panel of 6, and they will raise their hand at the point they would stop reading the submission and reject it. So that's super intimidating. Mine got read first. Mine was read. Like, I cannot explain how my stomach just absolutely dropped once I started hearing my words being read out loud. I was like sweating, panicking, looking around, and I was like freaking out. But not a single hand was raised. So they didn't reject it. I don't know if that's just because I was like the first one and maybe they didn't want to reject like the first entry right away. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself because they were pretty harsh on like some of the entries. So maybe it was good. I don't know. But nobody raised their hands, so they didn't reject the submission. They did give me feedback saying that I spent a little too much time on descriptions, and I don't need to describe so much. I can pull that back and focus more on like the action and the characterization, which is totally valid. I totally get that. But yeah, so I got great feedback, and it was anonymous. So they didn't know who I was, but I was writing notes as they were criticizing it out loud, which is so intimidating, but very hopeful. They didn't reject it. So that means I have hope in the publishing industry. And they said it was very well written. So also super good feelings about that and my agent meeting. So that's how it went. I know in the schedule that I had made, I had planned some time to go out to dinner with writers friends and like my writers friends in LA. But that event went on for so long and I was so tired by the end of it. That's why I didn't vlog the rest, and I just ended up going home and just like crashing the minute I went home. But I had a lot of good notes from it, a lot of good feedback. Some of it I was already aware of because I've been doing a lot of research and I have studied writing and I've been writing for quite some time. But it's still really good feedback to hear. It's good to get into the heads of industry professionals to see like what criteria they're judging these pieces on, what are they looking for from authors. For anyone interested, it's called Writing Day Workshop. I found them on Instagram and I thoroughly enjoyed the event. It was expensive, but it's a conference, so I understand. But it was a one-day conference at nearly like almost $200. So, and that's not even including what I had to pay for agent meetings, which is extra. But yeah, like I think it was really valuable though. I think the most valuable thing out of that conference is being able to be face-to-face with literary agents and being able to pitch to them in person. Because in other circumstances, the normal way to go about even getting in contact with an agent is sending out query letter after query letter after query letter. And it kind of feels like sending out cover letters to job applications and cold calling. And sometimes you'll never hear back from somebody. So it's a lot more personable to go to an event and be able to see an agent in person and know that they're real and talk to them and get real feedback. So that was the most value that I had out of this event. The other things, I can see them being valuable to other people, but to me, in my writing career, in all the learnings and writings that I've done so far, I don't think it really changed much for me going forward, because I feel like I already learned or knew of these things prior to coming into this conference. I do plan on going to another conference. They have a digital one. I think it's called the Chesapeake Writing Workshop Conference. That one, I definitely plan on completing my book before that time. And that's in about 2 months. So I will be vlogging a lot more often, and I very much want to have tracked progress and like a completed first draft, and it's got to be at least lightly edited before I send that into an agent. But that's the goal. I want to finish this book before August. It is now June, Friday the 13th. So I have about 2 months to be able to complete this book. And I'm so excited. I will be talking about it more often on this channel. I will be vlogging. I know this is super different than the existing videos on this channel, but I feel like it's been a long time coming, and I'm very excited to share this part of myself with my audience and be able to kind of authentically be the person that I've always wanted to be publicly at this stage in my life as well. I'm excited. This book that I'm working on, we are going to reference it as Project Hummingbird, and I cannot wait for the next one. Stay tuned. Please like, follow, and subscribe if you would like more writing tips, writing vlogs, and just overall lifestyle vlogs on what it's like to be a writer. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.